Literally, everyone talks about school being hard. No one talks about when you graduate school and you feel like a loser.
Wild party girl. I had no ambitions to start a business.
And he said, well, I have this food project that you should do for your master's. And I was like, master's? I don't know what that means.
Oh, wait, I still have those RSPs from my corporate job. So maxed out all my credit cards, depleted my savings.
I'm just going to find a way to do this. It's going to work out. And it's like the odds are stacked against you. You're drowning in debt. Like people talk about owning a house. What about owning a business?
All right, Dom, what is one word that you would describe today or yourself today?
Dialed.
Dialed.
Yeah. Yesterday, I was aloof. I just got back from a bachelorette weekend, my best friend's bachelorette. I didn't know what day it was. I stayed in my PJs.
Love it.
Today I woke up, I said I had to dial in. Gotta crank that dial.
I feel like that's how every Monday should be. Pajamas.
Really needs to be.
Yeah.
I love that our meetings are at 11 a.m. because what happens before 11 a.m. No one needs to know.
Nobody.
What about you?
My word is excited.
Excited.
Yeah.
What are you excited about? That we're hanging out? Oh,
life.
Okay.
I just feel like everything. I feel like there's so many opportunities every single day. Everything I get to do is exciting. Every conversation that we have today is going to be an exciting one. So that's my word.
Yeah, we got some good meetings in the calendar.
We have great
today.
meetings in the calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one are you most excited for?
This one right now.
Okay. Valid.
No, there's some word. I don't know. I don't even know what's happening later today, but I know they're going to be good.
Oh, we get to interview someone for a new job.
True.
So that'll be really exciting.
That'll be very exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Who was Domenique about like 4 years ago before I met you? Who were you?
Domenique. She was not Domenique. She was Dom.
Who was Dom?
So I'm trying to think. Well, I'm going to expose myself, but I did not like country music 4 years ago. I think that's when I just started to like country music. And now I really like country music. Like Zach Top, Fire Me Up. Who was I? I was just finishing my master's. I feel like I was just like a sponge at the time. I was literally just like a product of like all my friends that I was living with at the time. I was a goofy girl. I feel like I'm still a goofy girl. On a personal level, I was just telling somebody about this yesterday. I was so frickin' burnt out 4 years ago after graduating from school. Literally, everyone talks about school being hard. No one talks about when you graduate school and you feel like a loser. Like you're just like chewed up and spit out after university. All your friends leave town and you're just like, what is left of me? Like my body feels like it's shutting down. I'm getting old.
Okay, wait till you hit 30 now. I'm feeling that more. I'm feeling that more now that I'm like almost 30. You still have like 5 years to go.
No, don't tell me that. I actually feel way better at 25 than 21 though.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I just needed a little reset. I went traveling and that reset me and I started actually taking care of myself. But yeah, I feel like I was in a weird transitionary period at the age of 21 and I'm glad to be out of it.
You're a scholar.
A scholar. I'm a scholar. I'm a track star. What about you? Who were you 5 years, 4 years ago?
Yeah,
25. My age.
Yeah, 25. I feel like, so this is a fun question because nobody's actually really like asked this one before. Like, who were we before we met each other?
Yeah.
And a little bit before 4 years ago, I never going off 4 years, but I'll start from like 6 years. 'Cause that's kind of where a big transition period started for me. So I was like this wild party girl. I had no ambitions to start a business. I was just kind of living in the day and figuring out who I really was. And then my best friend passed away and that turned like me into a very spiritual person. So I went from this complete party girl, drinking all the time to like, no, I'm doing yoga. I'm doing my cacao ceremonies. I'm doing my meditations. I wanted to become a poet. So I have like a book full of poetry that like I was working on, and that was me for like 2 years up until like I kind of met Bart. And then I met Bart when I was like this complete hippie dippy, which was like such a fun version of myself. And I'm still a little bit of her, but we grew, she evolved. So I think probably around the 4 year mark is when I was just on that final stage of being that hippie dippy, went to school for holistic nutrition, kind of stopped writing my poetry, but then started learning about like who I truly was like at my core. So I think like 4 years ago was a really expansive time for me because I like leaned into like who I was at my core for 2 years. And then I was like, oh, like I kind of I know myself better.
That's interesting because I know you always tell me stories about like going to the forest with your journal or like with your rocks and working out. And I'm like, this girl does not do that. But you have little glimmers of it sometimes. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Love that.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Amen.
So rumor has it that you cashed out your RSP and your life insurance to pay for Beck's Broth.
Yeah.
Why? How?
I didn't have any money.
I had no money. Baby.
So maxed out all my credit cards, depleted my savings. And so I was at the stage in my life where when I started Beck's Broth, I knew it was going to be expensive. You know now, but like before I started Beck's Broth, I was in marketing for 8 years.
Yeah.
And I understood how expensive marketing was. And I knew if you're starting a business, you need to invest money in marketing, especially if you want to grow your business. I feel like we've had the same goal from the very beginning. We want to grow really fast.
Yeah.
Like we want
to the moon, baby.
To the moon. So I knew that was going to cost money. And my previous job, it was like working on like $1 million POs and stuff like that. So when I looked at my savings account after she was depleted and like my maxed out credit card, I was just trying to think, where the heck can I get more money from now? I can't extend my line of credit. Already tried. Can't get more money from my credit cards. I don't want to get another credit card because didn't know what I was doing. Right.
Yeah.
So then I kind of thought like, oh, wait, I still have those RSPs from my corporate job that like I was still working at the time. I was still like growing Beck's Broth and working full time at my old job. But I was like, you know what, like, let's just cash those out. Because like, I know that those are important. But one day I'm, as you know, like hoping to sell Beck's Broth or obviously like have more money in the future than I do in my RSPs then. So pretty much just cash those out so I could pay for the Beck's Broth branding. The branding. All the money that I cashed out was just going towards the branding. So
how do you feel about that now?
I feel great about it now.
Yeah.
I feel that was something at the beginning where Bart, my husband, he was very nervous about. I think like my first initial branding invoice, it was like 15,000 USD.
Yeah.
And that was only for my logo and my color palette and whatnot and like the overall vibe of our brand. And he's like, you're going to spend that much. And I've never spent that much money in my life. That was more than my car. Like that.
You're not a big spender.
No, I've never spent that much money. So he was very nervous. He's like, I don't think this is what you should be doing. We have mortgage payments. We have house renovations. But I just felt so sure of myself that like we needed to be able to invest in our branding because that's what's going to make people take a second look and stop at Beck's Broth. A bone broth hot chocolate is a very interesting item. When you see it at a retail level, you often are going to be like, what the heck is that? And move on. So I knew that we needed to captivate the consumers as soon as they looked at us. I knew I needed to hold their attention to learn about us more. So at this stage, it was totally worth cashing out my RSPs and my life insurance to be able to, create the branding that we have today.
I remember we were going for a walk down Niska like maybe 2 years ago, and you said to me, I am so sure about Beck's Broth. There's not a bone in my body that is going to tell me that this isn't going to work. I just need to figure out how I'm going to finance it. And I feel like you doing that is just a testament to like having that certain level of delulu as a founder. Like, I'm just going to find a way to do this. It's going to work out. And it's like the odds are stacked against you. You're drowning in debt. Like people talk about owning a house. What about owning a business, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And like, you know, you want to have a family one day, but it's just like literally just like shove all that shit aside and have this business. And one day it's just going to work out.
When you know, you know.
Yeah.
Like we've learned so much along the way of this journey where it's like the average person would be too scared to make the decisions that we've had to make and like the commitments of like the risks that we have to make in a day to day. But I just feel like on a core level, like a cellular level, like I just know that this is the right path for us right now. And I think just knowing makes every single fear like dissipate. Like there's like sometimes things can get a little scary, but also like at the end of the day, when you feel that fear, it's like, no, why am I scared? Like this is literally what we were born to be doing right now. Like we were born to be on this path, doing this project, building this brand. Yeah. So yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So what about you? So you went to U of G for engineering. So what?
A little eye twitch.
I still don't know what you did in school.
Me neither.
Whoa. But so what was that process like for you when you decided to go to university? How did you land on the programs that you took?
So I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. When I did career cruising, where you go like you do like that questionnaire and they tell you what to do. They told me that I should become a funeral director.
God.
Like, what?
What?
I can't be around sad people. Like,
No.
that's not my path. But I was good at like textbook math and science. And I was really interested in nutrition. Like grade school, I was drinking green smoothies, making weird protein balls. And I told my parents I wanted to go to school for nutrition. And they just said, maybe just go for engineering. And then just in case, if you don't want to do more school afterwards, you're done. You have a professional degree. Because with engineering, after 4 years, you can get a good job.
Yeah.
Whereas if I would have gone for like nutritional sciences or something, I would still need to go become a dietitian or become a doctor.
True.
And if I wanted to become a doctor, engineering was kind of that path. And for a long time, I applied and almost got into medical school before
Dr. Domi.
Which now is crazy to think because I'm like, don't touch me with an antibiotic.
I got the boo-boo doll.
Don't come to me. I don't like blood. I also hate blood.
I know. That's
hate
why
blood.
that's so surprising. I would never trust you if I'm suffering from anything.
Don't show me anything. I don't know what I was thinking. I feel like I like feeling my best.
Yeah.
And I want to help others feel their best. So when I was in engineering, I went to Guelph. I liked the campus. They had a biological program that was, there was like 7 people in it, super niche. And I got to start tailoring my degree in 3rd year to be surrounded by food projects. So there's a lot of design projects. I made chickpea yogurt. I made juice pulp waffles, which turned into my first business. And in my 3rd year, that was the first time where I was more excited about something than like partying.
I love that.
Like for the first time, I just wanted to stay home, work on this happy era company that I was building that ended up turning into a company. And when I graduated, I called one of my design project profs and I said, I don't know what I'm doing. Like all my friends are still in school. Like what should I do? And he said, well, I have this food product project that you should do for your master's. And I was like, master's? I don't know what that means. And I just did it. And I loved all the product development side of it. But I was always asking, what are we doing with this product once we develop it? And he was like, oh, that's not part of engineering. Engineering is about developing the process. Once you develop the process, you just like, I don't know, the marketing people take it from there. I was like, well, I don't like this. And he was like, yeah, no, you need to be in the industry, like go run your business. And he really was the reason why I was able to build a business while I was in school. Cause I think he just saw that in me and he saw that I respectfully wasn't good in the lab. Like I wasn't good at my master's. I'm not proud of my thesis by any means. But that was just kind of that gateway for me to figure out what I don't like doing. And then by nature, what I like doing. And running Happy Era while I was in school was a gorgeous way to figure that out. And when I graduated, I took a step back and really just felt like in my gut, I didn't want to be making waffles forever. Kind of every opportunity that presented itself for me to grow made me step further and further away from it until a point where I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I loved what you were doing. And that's when I really joined you or asked you to join Beck's Broth.
Love that.
Yeah. So do you want to tell me about how you swiped right for me on Tinder?
Pretty much. Well, it was on Instagram, actually.
Oh,
whoops. But I just saw what you were doing, and you were another female founder that was like within my proximity of like, I was living in Guelph at the time. Was I living in Guelph at the time?
I think you're in Kitchener.
But I didn't have this like crazy community like we both do now with all these founders. You were the only other founder that I knew that was in food, and like we are similar food products. You had your high protein waffles, and then I was doing my bone broth, which is also like a high protein food. So I just feel like I really looked towards you being like, oh my goodness, like this girl knows what she's doing. I had no idea that you were so much younger than me at the time, to be honest. I thought we were like on the same level. I was like, yeah, like she's my age. And I know that we were doing the same things. We were applying to the same grants. We were applying to the same programs at the small business centers. And then one day, I think I just like slid into your DMs and like asked if you wanted to go out on like a date. Like, I'm like, we should like get to know each other more. Like, let's meet in person. Then we went to Bread Bar. Was it Bread Bar?
Bread Bar. Yeah. You were still working your marketing job because I remember you had your laptop out. We were like sitting at the bar and you were like working.
Yeah.
Your side of the story is like, it's so funny because I also heard about you at Dar's Country Market and I thought you were really cool. So from my perspective, I might have slid into your DMs. So I don't know how that happened.
I think the first thing we ever really said to each other was we organized a Father's Day giveaway.
Yes.
Do you know? We collaborated our brands and we're like, yeah. And we're like, let's do a giveaway together.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I still kind of go through. There's been some times where I go through like our old DMs. It takes me like 30 minutes to get them, but then they're just like so wholesome.
They're so cute.
But yeah, so I feel like that's like my version of how we really met, was like that first time when we actually went to like get lunch together, and then it was just like the easiest lunch ever.
Yeah.
It wasn't awkward. The conversation was flowing. We were already within that like hour, 45 minutes or an hour of lunch, we were able to learn so much about each other, but then also business. And it felt so cool because I was like, wow, I've just never met somebody that I can just feel comfortable enough to share, but then also learn from at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was a really cool learning experience.
Yeah, I remember like learning really early on certain things, like how to do a store demo properly, because that did not come naturally to me at all, and it comes super naturally to you. And I just remember like I could just vocalize like, I hate this right now. I feel so uncomfortable, like I want to throw up, and like I would just tell you that, and you would be like, no, this is what you're gonna do, like this is how you're gonna do it.
Aww.
And like I feel like we still have that relationship in business now where there's certain things where I just need to rely on you, and I think it's the same for you where you just need to rely on me, but we just like do that so naturally.
Yeah, we mesh so well.
Yeah,
love that.
Everyone who meets you, from my perspective, I feel like they're besties with you. So how do you manage to foster such a strong sense of community, and what does community mean to you?
Yeah, great question. I think that was the one thing that I was just able to naturally nail early on in business. You know me, I'm a very big procrastinator, especially when it comes to the hard things and when it comes to the numbers and the analytics side of the business. So God bless you being on Beck's Broth now to take that off my shoulders. But in the beginning, when I was just trying to procrastinate the hard work, what I did to filter my time was lean on my community and like get to know them and like get to know who our consumer was, because that was fun for me. It's like I have all this work to do in my inbox, but hey, let me take a break and let's go on through social media, or when I'm working at like store demos or the farmers market, and just like really focus on like becoming friends with as many people as you can and sharing the message, then learning what they have to think about the brand. But that was just my way of procrastinating. It was like, this is my fun zone, and it's getting to know people. And like, I just feel like that makes it made business feel so much more comfortable, because I was still working, but I was realistically just, like growing my community and not doing the hard stuff. So I just feel like that's fun for me. I get to laugh. I get to have fun every day. I get to literally make like real life friends that have made such an impact on my life, and like vice versa. And that's how we've been able to make every hire of Beck's Broth so far. It's just like leaning into the vibes of how this person made me feel, and then us analyzing their strengths and being like, hey, like, do you want a position at Beck's Broth, or can you help us out? Like, that's how we've done everything.
Hey, you free?
Yeah, like, are you free
tomorrow?
Do you want a job? Or like, that's how we met our photographers, and like that's how we've really been able to cultivate like our community, but then also our professional network. It's just by leaning into like getting to know somebody and realizing that we love what they do and what they're capable of, and we realize that like Beck's Broth needs more of them. And so I just feel like cultivating the community aspect has been so fun, because it just feels natural, and it just feels like that's like the right way of building a business. It's like making sure that like we have like our solid team around us, you know. It feels less scary, like people,
so
and like and sometimes like when I just need like a hype up, we can literally reach out to our community and be like, guys, gas me up right now.
Look at this picture right now.
Like, I've had a hard day. I need somebody to like kind of ground me again, or if it's like or sharing our successes with them. But it's just like, if it's a hard day, or if we just want to celebrate, our community's in our corner, and it just makes it literally solidifies like, fuck yeah, that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we're not doing this alone. We literally have like 10,000 people in our corner, and it's like the biggest motivator to like get shit done and grow this business.
How do you have the confidence to literally give your love to other people, and like just not knowing what they're gonna expect? Like, even just working at the farmers market with you in the early days, like you would run out of the booth and hug someone, and like sometimes they just wouldn't like they wouldn't give back. And I've seen you do that, and people do come around and they warm up to you. But maybe as like a founder who doesn't have that really strong feeling of community yet, or they're just starting out, like what advice would you have for someone to build their own community from the ground up?
Love that. I just think everybody wants a little bit more love in their life, whether they know it or think about it or not, right? It's like and at the farmers market, it's a great example, because you know, from being there, you ended up bringing happy air right beside me in the farmers market days, and people would be lined up down our aisle, not even to buy our product.
No.
They just wanted to hang out.
Yeah.
They wanted their Saturday hug. They wanted to congratulate us on the latest and greatest news that we might have shared on social media. They wanted to tell us where they saw us in store, or like they literally just wanted, to hang out and then also give us their life updates. And we just created that friendship. But like, I think in the very beginning, I was so nervous about being this businesswoman founder where I just knew that I had to like get my ego and like lock it away in a door and then just show up and be a human first and be like, hey, like I want you a part in my circle, you know? So at the farmer's market, it was just a great like way to solidify like how to grow a community and like what that actually means. And I feel like wearing my heart on my sleeve and genuinely being so grateful and excited that people are near me and coming to our booth, like that was just the best thing. It's like people are giving us their attention, and like that's the biggest blessing, a gift that somebody could give you is their full-on attention. So like I think I just learned that early on. It's like if I have them here, like I'm gonna literally like shower them with love. I hope that answers your question.
No, yeah, you really just dropping the ego, I think, is such a huge thing, and just showing up as you are and letting them also guide you and be a part of your story is so special. Yeah.
Okay, so from a social impact, how is Beck's Broth working with our community this year?
Yeah, I guess there's really two pillars. There's many pillars, but two main pillars, internally and externally. I'm going to talk to internally, and I feel like you might be able to talk better to externally because you coordinate the events. Internally, I think our goal as founders is to make our team feel so supported and just like the literal best versions of themselves. My goal has shifted. Like 6 months ago, it was pretty much just the two of us. We had a little bit of a team. My goal was to do my job, pay the bills, make sure we have enough money in the bank account, make sure we have enough raw materials. Now that we have a team, my goal is to champion the rest of our team and make them feel so proud of what they're accomplishing every single day. And I just had an interview with a potential new employee yesterday, and they kind of asked me, what surprised you about starting a business? And to me, it's just being able to feel like I have a group of besties around me. And I think the two of us do such a good job at creating that magic in the workplace where every single day is just a win and a celebration. And I think giving back to other women in our community, being the people on our team, and not just our internal team, but our mentors who we work with and other founders who reach out to us and our suppliers, and just making everyone feel like they're doing the best job that they can and supporting them.
It's huge. That goes
so
such
rewarding.
a long way.
Yeah.
It goes such a long way. I've worked with, like in marketing, I've worked with some like disastrous clients or people that are just so unhappy, and you could try and like make them happy and they just didn't want to see it. So to be able to like work with the people that we're working at now, but showing them how valuable and special that they are and like that they're like an integral part of our community, like that, they just get so proud of themselves and they get so like hyped up, and they're like, wow, this is work. Like I get to do my job, but I also get to work with kick-ass people that are like just like up leveling us. And I think that's what we both do like a great job at.
Yeah.
And like for me, that realization really stemmed a couple of months ago when I was doing a guided journaling practice, and one of the questions was like, when have you felt like most happy in your job lately? And I was like, you know what, that was right when we came back from our yearly business planning session where we rented a cabin and we took the team out to stay at this cabin for the weekend.
So fun. And
we just got to play all weekend long, but work and visualize and create these dream concepts, and we had so much fun with one another. And everybody just thought that was such a cool and fun thing to do. And so when I was reflecting on that, I was like, I want to do more of that. Like that's where the magic is going to happen. People want to play, but then also they want to get their brains working at like a supersonic speed of like how we can transform Beck's Broth into a rapidly growing company. What can we do to get from point A to point B? And I think playing around and getting silly with your coworkers and just dropping in and being vulnerable and hyping each other up, like there's like that crazy recipe for like it's going to have the most incredible outcomes. So I think just like after that realization, it made me learn that if we're really going to grow this team, we need to like not lose sight of that, which like we need to like keep on like inspiring our team, but then also like let them like reflect and like guide their own journeys. That's like when Macy came on board, we literally told Macy, you're so freaking talented and we're so excited to have you on our team, but now we want you to write your dream job description.
Yeah.
You're the expert here.
What are you going to do?
You tell us what we need, but then also what you want to do for us.
Yeah.
And I think by being able to give her that freedom, it just made it, I think it just like lifted a weight off of her shoulders and be like, wow, like this is interesting. Like I get to work, but I get to literally do what I love and help this business grow. And I just want all of our employees to feel like that inspired, like their ideas matter and like they can do whatever the heck they want as long as like it's like aligning with our goals and our business goals and everybody's being a team member, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes to that point of blending personal and work. I think we do a good job at blending both of those things because as their leaders, we need to know what's your home life like? What are your personal goals in the next 5 years? What do you need from us to be successful, not only in your job, but then at home, in your hobbies and all of those things? And how can we support you? Totally. Because some employees might want more money. Some might just want a Monday morning off, or they might just want to feel like, hey, I'm really bored. Like I need to feel fulfilled and productive, and just actually meeting our employees where they are is so fun. And that doesn't come by talking on a screen. We need to get together, hang out, be silly, have fun, and really get to know them and get to know their needs. And that's just been such a cool part of the journey.
I think you said it perfectly the other day, and I think you were talking, I actually don't know who you were talking to, but you mentioned it the other day, like we're not a vertically growing company. No. We're like a horizontally growing company. Like it's like we're not the most important peoples in business, you and I. Like that's not it. It's like we listen to everybody. Everybody has that voice that they're able to share, and like they all have I don't know. I just think it was really cool like how you mentioned that. So if you want to like dig into your mindset there, I think that's just really important because like when I heard you talk, you weren't talking to me, but you were talking to somebody else, and I got to sit down and listen to you, and I was like, fuck, I love that girl. Like that is just such a cool thing to be able to like say and share. And I know we've never really talked about that before, but it just made me feel so proud of you in the moment because I was just like, wow, like yeah.
That's so sweet. Yeah. Well, I think you said it perfectly, but you know, we just got asked for an organizational chart yesterday, and it's like Beckie, CEO, Dom, COO, and then like here's Dom's team, and like here's Beckie's team, but then X person is above X person in the direct report. But it's really not that. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. It would just be a waste of time because why are we hiring you if we can do it more efficiently? And I think a sentence that comes out of both of our mouths pretty much every day is, you're the expert here. You let me know what I can do to support you, but you're going to do a better job, and I'm going to let you do that job, and you're going to make mistakes, and I would make those mistakes too. So it's fine. Like figure it out, and just, if you have problems, just come and talk to us. But we're so lucky to be surrounded by so many talented people. It's kind of scary sometimes.
And I think by giving them that trust as well, they just feel so much more driven to do a good job. And it's like how I've been messaging you lately, and it's just like, wow, I've just been doing so much better at work, and I feel so much better by the time I'm closing my laptop, because like my goal in my mind is like, I want to make Dawn proud today. Like I want you to see that I'm trying to do my job to like, it's like my full potential. And I think that's exactly how, when we give our employees that freedom, that creative freedom, it makes them just want to like do their best. You know, it's not like they're just like clocking the hours. Like, no, they're literally putting their heart and soul into what they're doing, and it's paying off. And then that gives us like, I think we all feel it, where we're celebrating every single day, or every time we get together, we're like, wow, like you did this today, like woo woo woo. I just think it's really cool. I think we have such a hardworking team.
And like to close off this little segment here, something that we do as a team every week is we start our Monday morning meetings with, what were your wins from last week? And let's just like actually take a moment, write down your top 3 wins. What did you accomplish? And of course it's accountability. It's, you know, you said you were going to do these things. Did you do them? But it's also a time to check in and be like, yo, you did that. Let me make sure the whole team knows that this happened. Or you're proud of yourself. Let's celebrate that together. Or like, even sometimes someone will forget one of their wins, and someone else will chime in and be like, no, like you that was like really cool
that
thing.
Was like our skew this week with Kayla. Kayla's been working so hard to get this production run under wraps and following up with our production team every single day to see where we're at. Monday came around, she got the email on Saturday, and then Monday came around and she didn't mention it in her wins.
No, she was already past
and
it.
I said, Kayla, you're forgetting about the biggest win of all. Like, you just completed our production run, and like we've been so excited for this, and we got it in. We ended up getting it in like 3 weeks before we thought we were going to, and that was like a huge win to celebrate. So yeah, I love that. What are the other questions that we go over on our Monday meetings?
So we do what's something I should know about you. So this one kind of started with you and I when we were just becoming business partners, and we just wanted to make sure that that was an opportunity initially for us to clear the air on anything that might be sticky or uncomfortable.
Sticky or icky.
We had, some pretty uncomfortable conversations when we first had that shareholders agreement.
Yeah.
Now I think it's more translated into, where are you at? Yo, I just got back from a bachelorette. Not feeling 100% right now. Maybe don't ask me for like so much help today. Wait till tomorrow. Or like what's going on this week. So that's a really nice one. And then after we celebrate our wins, we also go through our priorities. And that's where we can make sure that we're all aligned with each other's priorities. I think I came with 5 and I said, hey, which ones should I be prioritizing?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then also like, what can you do to support me? And I remember after the meeting, Kayla also messaged me and she's like, you're going to be drowning this week. What can I do to help you out?
She's the best.
She really is. And she did do a lot yesterday. I was sending you screenshots of everything she was doing for me. We were interviewing and she was sending me summaries of the resumes because I just got back from the bachelorette and my inbox was crazy. So she was like, here's what you need to read, 30 seconds. So those 3 questions, what should I know about you? What are your wins and what are you prioritizing? It's literally like dial into the week, 45 minutes in and out. We have a team of 5 and it's no problem getting through that if we stay dialed.
I think that was a really smart thing we did early on. Our business mentor, he said, you guys need to meet once a week and just figure out how you guys are feeling. And I think was something that he mentioned. He was also like, do not cancel these meetings.
No.
Like, don't make it seem like they can come and go, or like if you're having a busy day, you might like cancel the meetings. This needs to be something that's reoccurring in your calendar to help hold you guys accountable, because you're going to feel so much more balanced afterwards.
Yes.
And I think to date, maybe we've had to cancel one, but I think that might have been because we were traveling.
Yeah.
Or like everybody always shows up on Monday and it's at 11 a.m. So we're waking up slow. We're having a good time. We get through our inbox and then it's like, let's chat.
Yeah. Show up as you are. Like I was in my PJs, but like you're coming.
Yeah. Those are my favorite meetings.
Thanks.
Yeah. I love them. So being a Gen Z leader, how do you feel like you are different than, say, your dad who owns his own company? So how do you think the leadership style has changed over time?
Yeah, it's a great question. I actually just learned what Gen Z meant like 15 minutes ago. So for anyone listening, it's like 20 somethings, I think. So I never worked too many conventional jobs growing up, but I did get to observe my dad. I got to work a co-op job where it was a very traditional construction company corporate structure. And I think the biggest thing I've noticed is being able to be more authentic on the first day and just like shoot the shit in a very vulnerable way. There's a level of professionalism in the industry where, you show up and then you kind of earn that relationship with your team. And we've kind of reversed that, where it's you build that relationship first and then you settle into the more professionalism. So I can give an example. When we hire an employee, it's like we're going out for lunch, we're hanging out, we're coming to your house, we're getting to know each other, and then we're going to talk about your job. And that's just so special because we really get to make the rules as founders, and we get to, I guess, inspire others and inspire our team to just feel so super comfortable with us. Where did I want to go with that? I had a thought. So when I started my master's, I was like cookie cutter, puppy dog, like perfect A+ student, like sit in the front row, don't say anything wrong, don't really ask any questions. And then by the time I got out of my master's, I was like hugging my advisor, telling him about my family. He was telling me about his kid. And I just really want that for our team right away. And I think that's kind of where Gen Z is different, is we encourage that. And what that does for us is it allows us to meet our whole team where they are and give them what they need right from the beginning. And when you give them what they need and let them be who they are, they're going to be themselves to you, and they're going to give you their best version of themselves and not feel like they have to hide behind these certain expectations that we're setting out for them. They're just going to walk into the room. They're going to have that fuck yeah energy. And when you have that fuck yeah energy, you're confident, you're ready to have fun, you're ready to work, and there's just nothing holding you back. There's no guard. So I guess that's kind of how I think it's different. Would you agree? Or
yeah, I would totally agree. And like coming from my corporate background, 8 years in the corporate world, I think, and it was a family run company. By the time I left, it was about 200 employees, but everybody was still very like, we knew who the founder was or the CEO. We knew all the C-suite executives and whatnot. But it was very different in terms of all of the meetings. You knew who the person in charge was. Like, it was very dominated by power, by fear, by like, you need to come prepared, or like, if you're not coming prepared, or if you get distracted, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, so like, don't waste anybody's time. Like, you need to always be on your A game. And I think that's like realizing that that's actually not how you need to do business in order to be successful. So I think I had some unlearning to do when I stepped into this leadership role. And it was, I needed to leave the anxiety at the doors and the fear at the door and the power at the door. And like, let's just show up, be who we truly are. And that magic is going to happen. Like, you don't need, just because I'm the CEO, it doesn't mean that I need to be an asshole to my employees, right? Like, it's just like, no, I can show up and I can ask for help and I can empower them. And I think that's something that has been really different at Beck's Broth compared to my previous job, where nobody's scared to work. Nobody feels like there's like this power in the room, and then they fear that or feel anxious towards that. It's like, no, like, and I think our team does a really great job of being like, hey, like, here's a deadline. Like, this is a deadline of something that you need to get done. But at the end of the day, when our employees are feeling overworked, we're like, listen, we make the rules. Like, if we can't make that deadline, don't kill yourself in order to make that deadline.
No.
Take a couple of extra days.
Yep.
Because again, we're just putting, like, I never want to be that founder to put the pressure onto somebody. So knowing that everything, like, it's not meeting up to your original timeline. Who cares?
Yeah.
Is our business going to collapse and burn? No. Are we going to survive? Yeah, we're going to survive.
Yeah.
So like, do what you can and like, give yourself the time and the grace in order to do a good job. Cause I don't want your rushed work.
No.
Like, that's not where like the magic happens.
Exactly.
Is if you're rushing to meet a deadline. It's like, no, like, take a couple extra days, like really perfect it. Feel comfortable with it. Feel proud of what you're able to accomplish.
Yeah.
So I just think we do a really good job of making our employees feel like loved and safe and secure and valued. And I think in this day and age, like, especially with the mental health crisis that we're in now, I think like this is the way to run a business. We want our employees to feel loved. We want them to go home to their families at the end of the day and be like, yeah, this is my job.
This is so cool.
This is my work. Like, I'm happy. I just finished work, but like, I'm feeling so happy and good. And I think Macy, just to kind of blast her out here, she sent us a screenshot yesterday that her friend asked her how things were going lately or whatnot. And like, her response to her friend was like, oh, good. Nothing really new. Just having so much fun at work. And like, that's so exciting to see.
Yeah. And like, on the flip side of the coin, that is not to say we don't work our little booties off.
Oh, for sure.
Like, if you were to actually journal what we got done in a day and how much we pushed the needle, we're pushing the needle. And I think that's where there's like this misconception or maybe knowledge gap between traditional 9 to 5 and startup culture, where when you work a 9 to 5, you have to show up at 9. You're working. I mean, in my opinion, you're not. But like, you're working these 8 hours and staying until you get your job done. And we've kind of flipped that, where it's a fluid work model. It's work when you can, where you can. Some weeks you're going to get, 3 really good hours in. Other weeks you're going to work until like 10 p.m. and be super dialed in. But that doesn't mean one week was really better than the other. And I think that's where we're being different in the workplace, is just encouraging people to do as much as they can when they can, versus always expecting all gas, no brakes, because that's when people have breakdowns.
Yeah.
That's when they don't like their job anymore. And it goes so much deeper than how much work you can get done a day. If you don't like your job, you're just not going to get work done. And it's not going to be good work. Yeah. So I think just finding that blend of course, we're soft. We want everyone to have very positive work experience and have so much fun, and we're forgiving and we don't push our employees. But I think that actually makes us all more productive versus thinking that we're too soft and not getting things done.
Totally. Like, we're definitely very accountable at the end of the day as well, but in like a comfy, cozy way.
Yeah, we're
like,
helicoptering.
We get shit done.
Yeah.
And like, I think we all get so excited when we get that done.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. Do you remember the next question?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So how does that kind of translate into, I would say, workplace wellness? Not so much workplace wellness, but founder wellness. Because, the first thing I learned when I came into business is entrepreneurship is lonely. Being a founder is lonely. And I think from the outside perspective, it looks like 98% of the time we're super happy. And I truly believe that. But kind of, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're happy all the time? Do you have mentee B's, mental breakdowns? And yeah, like, what does that look like to you?
Yeah, I think sometimes it ebbs and it flows, but I think like you nailed it on the head. I feel like 98% of the time I'm literally just like excited and happy. And I really focus on not letting the fear, the anxiety get to me. I really feel like
Really good at
we're
that.
able to leave it at the door, and we're not able, like, we don't dwell on it. We
No.
don't dwell on the negatives. I know that there is, especially like when it was maybe a month or two ago and we had to take on more financing, and it was like our first, like, sure, we've taken like $50,000 loans here and there, but this was like our first $225,000 loan, and being like personally responsible for that can be scary. And then it's like kind of like, okay, like maybe like I do such a good job of blocking out the noise and the negative thoughts, where sometimes I'm like, wait, should I be more anxious about this? Right? Like, should I actually should I be like analyzing these risks with like a better brain, right? Where I feel like I just kind of let everything just like roll off me and everything is going to be great and fine. But sometimes like those thoughts do come in. So my hack is just pop some L-theanine and take a nap, and you're going to wake up and feel great. You're just going to rest your mind. And like that always helps me.
Resting is a magical drug.
When we first started to get to know each other, when like you were like, I think we were just talking about like anxieties one day, and I just said like L-theanine. Like I walked into my health store one time, Fiddleheads, who was like one of our first retailers.
Yeah.
And I was talking to their buyer, and I said, I need, like, the anxieties they're getting to me. Like, I'm feeling crippled with anxiety right now. Like, can you please like recommend something that like will like kind of calm down my nervous system? And she said L-theanine, and I've been taking it like ever since. But it just allows your brain to slow down, and like you don't have like those like crazy anxious thoughts. Like I just feel like it's my superpower to not stress out.
It's so nice.
But also I think what's helped over time is our founder circles that we're in.
Yeah.
So I feel like being a CPG founder, or like I'm sure like any type of founder, we just have a really strong CPG community. But I think founders start to naturally gravitate towards one another.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's like you're asking them for advice, like on LinkedIn, or you're complimenting them on how well they're doing something, or asking for a connection here or there. So I feel like the founder community is getting stronger. And I think people realize that we need that founder community in order to feel safe and secure doing something completely wild. So I feel like when those insecurities do come up, it is incredible just to talk to other founders. Like Resh from OG Ghee, we can just text him and be like, hey, like, is this crazy? Is this bonkers? Like, what do you feel about this? And then sometimes he's able to talk us off a ledge, right? And it's just, I think it's all about being able to voice any type of ickiness that comes up, or any type of insecurity or any type of anxiety. As soon as you like put a voice to that and let somebody know how you're feeling. Like I do that with you all the time, and you're able just to calm me down right away. So it's like be getting really fluid with your emotions and not keeping them in. It literally will save the world. I feel like, at least like your business. Like I don't hold anything in. If I'm feeling anxious about something, the number one thing I'm going to do is pick up the phone, call my husband, call you, or call another founder.
Yeah.
And as soon as I have those conversations, it's like I'm back to base level, and it's
For
like,
sure.
Cool, I can groove again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you have anything else to add to that?
I guess like it goes back to dropping the ego and just feeling like, okay, well, this is my job, so I'm just going to do it all and make sure it's all taken care of. But no, I remember I texted you on Friday, or Thursday, you came over, and I think you could sense that I was like, my house smelled bad and my friends were coming over. And I was just like, I need to like shower, and like, I want the house to be cute, and I'm making dinner, and I have so many emails I want to send, and you were just like, just take a half day. Just
like, why are you working right now? Your friends are coming over tonight for a big deal.
Like my best friend's bachelorette. And I went through my inbox. I wrote down my priorities, and I said, I'm done everything I need to do. These are the things I need to do on Monday. And I was like, can you just like double check that I'm not missing anything? You're like, that sounds good. I'm aligned. And that just let me drop all the fear. And even throughout the whole weekend, when those scary thoughts come in at Saturday night when you're at the bar, it's like, no, I know what I need to do on Monday. I have time to do it. And like, someone has verified that this is like enough for me.
Yeah.
I actually am reading The Daily Stoic. It's a book that I think everyone should read. It's one page. And last night the title was Trust But Verify. And it talks about the balance of intuition, but then also being super impressionable as a human. At Beck's Broth, I feel like we always talk about trusting your intuition, lean into your feelings, lean into your gut feelings, and use that to guide you. And the book was talking about how trust those feelings, but recognize that we are impressionable, and let yourself sit with those feelings for long enough. and then verify them with someone else. And I think you just put that perfectly in that example of feel your feelings, but also don't be scared to go to someone and make sure that they're accurate. Because most of the time, the anxiety is just not necessary.
Totally.
You can just get rid of it.
Which is why it's such an important practice on Mondays when we review our wins. I also feel like whenever I get like any anxious thoughts creeping back into me, I always go to our Monday meeting folder and I'll review all of our wins. And it's like, wow, you know what? Like I might have had a shitty week, but God, the girls kicked ass this week. They moved the needle. Like I have nothing to be worried about. And I think just like making sure that you reflect on your achievements and where you're at in business and then be really mindful. I think like that mindfulness really helps you reduce the noise. Yeah. It's really important.
Yeah. Totally.
Also when I was over on Thursday, when I told you to take a half day, I was like, why are you still working? Take a half day. And I made a joke. I was like, it's freaking Friday afternoon. And you're like, it's Thursday. I literally thought it was Friday. I don't know if you saw when you were like, it's Friday. And I was like,
I think you were just confused that day.
I was so confused. I was like, all right, but it is a different week.
It felt like a Friday though. Like we were all hanging out in my bed.
So it's like, it's Friday. Why are you still working even? And I was like, oh, wait, no, it's literally Thursday. But it was technically your Friday.
It was my Friday. Yeah. Another thing about wellness that I don't think we talk about enough is taking time for yourself and your hobbies. When I was in school, I really thought that every single hour had to be accounted for towards doing school. Like I am doing school. And if I'm not doing school, I'm visiting my family. I'm working, like I'm doing something productive. And now I have hobbies. Like I just told you I want to do this bike race, or I'm really into making sourdough, or like I'm building these little clay things with my friends. And I think the more fun things you have into your life, the better your life is. And Beck's Broth has really enabled me to have those hobbies and see them as productive too in a different way. I mean, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I spend 3 hours at the gym. By the time I like get there, do my workout, do my sauna, cold shower, whatever. And I'm also, you know, on a Thursday night, it's okay if I take the night off and have fun with whatever I want to do. Even if it's just watching a show, like that gives you something to talk about too.
Yeah. Oh, you know me. I love my shows.
You do love your shows. But yeah, I guess that's kind of something I'm adopting that does inherently help with the anxiety, because it turns off your brain a little bit earlier in the evening and allows me to deal with those thoughts before I get into bed at 10, like closing my laptop and getting into bed, just doing all those grounding activities and literally just having a life.
Yeah.
Like founders are allowed to have a life.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think the creativity aspect of business really helps as well. I know maybe like in the tech space, it might be slightly different, but being the brand that we are, we get to be so creative every single day because we fully believe in our messaging and our marketing. And we know that like we have to lean on like there is such a huge part of Beck's Broth. So something that's always exciting us. And it's constantly like a dopamine like release, where it's just like the girls are sending us some great funny videos that they just edited.
So good.
So I think it's really taught me to find those sparks of joy in the work where I'm like, whoa, that's great. And then I just think like those fun feelings really outweigh any of the negative ones, because I just see like it's just like we really have uplifted our overall energy in the business, which has made it feel less scary.
It's scary.
It's scary.
Scary.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.